Hi, I see you found our QR code. My name is Jamal Anwar, and I'm a student from IUPUI working with the Biomed and Clinical Education team here at Eskenazi. In today's video, we'll be learning how to operate the BD Alaris 8120 PCA module. From now on, I'll be referring to it as simply as the PCA module. Alright, so in today's video, we'll be covering an introduction to the device, which will go over the function of the device. We'll be covering the anatomy of the device, which will be covering key components of the device, as well as how to start and operate the device, the alarms for the PCA module, as well as alarms for the BD Alaris 8300 and tidal capnography module, which is here at the end. And we will just be going over alarms for that because it works in conjunction with the PCA module. So for this video, you should be able to see chapters in the progress bar. If you cannot see these chapters, just go down to the description below and you'll see timestamps and listed with the timestamps each section that I discussed earlier and what time at which we will be going over that, so you can go ahead and forward to whatever part you need to view or that you would like to review. The BD Alaris 8210 PCA module is an attachable unit that works jointly with a central controller, the BD Alaris PC Unit, which is otherwise known as the brain. The brain, or the PCU, is used alongside a series of modules like large volume pump, syringe pump, PCA pump, and patient monitoring like capnography to function as a single unit, as you can see right here with all the modules. This integrates several devices and functions, such as giving medication as well as doing patient monitoring simultaneously. The purpose of the brain, or the PCU, is to program infusion delivery on behalf of each module attached. The brain, or the PCU, also transmits all this data to the Alaris Guardrail Suite MX software. Today we will be just covering the PCA module. The function of the PCA module is to allow the patient to self-administer pain medication that is prescribed by the physician. This is delivered in the form of an IV line, and the pain medication quantity is restricted so that the patient can only self-administer within safe limits. Enough medication to offer relief, but not enough to worsen their condition. The PCA module works in conjunction with the BD Alaris 8300 and tidal CO2 module capnography module. The tidal module offers continuous respiratory monitoring to help reduce the risks of an opioid-induced respiratory incident. The tidal module can also stop or pause the delivery from the PCA module if a situation arises in which the patient's respiratory status falls under hospital-defined limits. While we will not cover how to operate the capnography module, we will be covering alarms for the device as they're indicative of any issues with the PCA module performance. In addition to timestamps, we will also be listing resources for the Alaris PC Unit, the PCA module, as well as the capnography module down below in the description. Make sure to check that out if you want any more references. Let's move on to the anatomy of the device. So here we have the anatomy of the device. One thing we definitely want to cover at first is the security lock here. As you can see, it has several positions: unlock, locked, program. And for this, you will have a nursing key, as can be seen in my hand right here right now. You will need this for the device, and you can retrieve this from the Omni cell. Another couple of things we want to cover is these important components. So we have a few of the statuses indicators here. We have the alarm status, which will emit a red light when the device alarms. We have the infused status, which will emit a green light when there's an infusion that is being delivered by the device. And then we have the standby status, in which a yellow light will be emitted to indicate that the device is in standby. Then we have the rate display for the rate in which the infusion is occurring at. We have a message display. We have a channel identification key to determine which channel this is. It'll come up as B later on when we're operating. Then we have the channel select button. So when pressed, it selects a module or that the PCU wants to talk to, or rather wants to talk about. So whenever you will do anything with this device, a lot of the time you'll be pressing channel select first. Moving on, we have the pause key. So when you press this during an infusion, it'll temporarily stop the infusion on the module. And after approximately 2 minutes, a visual and audio prompt begins. You have your channel or module off key. So when you press and held until a beep is heard, it stops the infusion on the module. Deselects the module, and if the module had been operating, system powers down. Then you have your restart key. So when pressed, it resumes operation of a previously paused or alarmed infusion on the module. Then at the bottom, we have our dose request cord attachment as well as our dose request cord. I'll go ahead and show you what that looks like. So this is what goes in the patient's hand, and you see it right here in my hand on the screen. And then that is what this is attached to. Moving on, we have the syringe, and we will kind of go over a couple of the key parts for that. So let me go ahead and get this unlocked. So you put your key in and you make sure you get into unlock. You see the door just popped open right there for me. And at the top here, you have your gripper control or drive head release. You turn it clockwise, and maybe if I move my hand, you can see that it extends out. And this is what holds on to the syringe. It's referred to as a claw as well. Then you have your barrel flange grippers over here. And then you also have a syringe barrel clamp over here. So those are like kind of the key parts that we need to go over today. So let's move on how to set up the device, and I will go ahead and close this for the time being. All right, so one of the things that I wanted to cover really quick is how to attach the device or detach the device. And so here we have our untitled module, and I'm gonna go ahead and take that off, and you'll see here I'm putting my thumb on this blue release latch at the bottom here, and I'm gonna click it off really quick and pull it off just like that. All right, and you can see this applies to all the other modules. The PCA module on this unit seems to be directly attached to the PCU. There is no release latch here, and I would assume that's just for safety. But moving on, I wanted to show you how to attach it really quick. So all you have to do is, you'll see here we have our female connector. These are IUI connectors, and then on the other side here you have your male connector, so it's kind of easy to figure out which side goes where. Here we have our male connector on the side of the PCU. We're going to go ahead and take the female side of the connector here and attach it right on. You'll see that I'm going to go ahead and attach it to the device flush just like that, and holding it at a 45-degree angle. I'm going to go over here to get a better grip on it. And I held it flush. I'm at that 45-degree angle. It's flush, and then click it in. Once you hear the click and see that the release latch is popped out, it is on there. So I just wanted to go ahead and cover that. The next bit is to plug in your device, as can be seen here. I'm gonna go ahead and plug this in over here, but I do wanna make this its own step. It's always good to check that there are no gashes in your power cord, no exposed wire or anything, as that can be a hazard. So I'm gonna go ahead and plug this in. And you'll see that once I plug it in, nothing quite happens yet, but I'm gonna go ahead and press the system on key so we can get started. So here we go. I am pressing the system on key, as can be seen here on the PCU. And as soon as I press it, it'll come on. You'll see all these LEDs going off. It's doing all its self-tests. And you should even hear an audible tone. I wonder if it's gonna start here, right there, right? So you'll start hearing this tone, and that's how you know this is all on. And I'm gonna go ahead and bring you guys a bit closer. Maybe I can zoom in here. And you can go ahead, you hear the audible tone. Like I mentioned, there are some channel letters that you see here, so A, B, and even if I can just turn you a little bit, we even have a C. All right, so we're gonna focus on this part right here. You'll have a screen that says new patient, as can really clearly be seen here, and you will go ahead and see that if the device is due for maintenance, it'll usually have a page just saying maintenance reminder. In that case, you can either notify the biomed department if needed, or you can bypass the reminder by pressing the confirm button. Do keep in mind that maintenance is vital to device function. If you do not need the device in that very moment and another PCU is available to use, please notify the biomed department. So we are going to move on into how to operate the device. Hey guys, so we're back, right? And we're looking at our new patient screen. We're going to go ahead and hit yes. Yes for adult. We're going to go ahead and confirm an ID of 0, 0, 0, 0, 0, if it will, and then confirm. We're going to go ahead and load in the syringe. So you want to go ahead and match these two ends here under the flange, or under the gray part right over here. So you'll see, I'm going to pull this up, my gripper control, and you'll see that I'm just going to fit it right in between here. Oh, if I can. And you'll see it fits in right perfectly. You pull out your barrel clamp and turn it down clockwise. You turn your gripper control counterclockwise, pull it down, grip it right in. All right. And you want to go ahead and turn your key in and put it into program, because now we're going to go into how to operate the device. So we got it at program. All right, so we're going to select our channel. So channel select, like we said, is the key to press in order for the PCU to know what channel you want to talk about. We're going to confirm the time of day. We're going to go ahead and pick the syringe size. So I believe this one is a 50 milliliter, but let's double check. So I'm going to go ahead and pull this out right quick, or turn it rather. So, and you can see once I pulled it out, that syringe installation screen came on. So you never have to worry about not knowing, and that's the nice part, is that the PCU can really lead you throughout this entire process. So it says here, it is a 50 milligram per 50 milliliter. So we're gonna go ahead and confirm. So I'm gonna go with this up here and confirm. It's morphine as the device says. We're going to go standard PCA, morphine 50 milligrams and 50 milliliters. So this is correct as the tube indicates. We're going to confirm, record exact volume used to prime tubing on proof of use sheet. So we're going to confirm that. And we're going to hit the options key, we're going to hit next to confirm. And then we're going to confirm our pause limit, standard pause limit. For the purpose of this training video, we only cover one form of infusion mode, but I wanted to go ahead and cover what the other infusion modes. So there are 4. The one that we cover in this video specifically is the PCA dose, which is the standard patient administered dose. This is when the patient self-administers their pain medication. The second infusion mode is continuous infusion, which is when the patient is offered continuous infusion of their pain medication. This is typically for patients who have more severe pain. The third infusion mode is a PCA dose paired with continuous infusion, which offers, again, more relief for the patient as they will get continuous infusion of their medication, as well as an opportunity to self-administer as they see fit. Lastly, we have the loading dose, or the bolus dose infusion mode, which is when a dosage of medication is given before the PCA starts. This offers relief to them as they may have more pain or moderate to severe pain at the time of orders. So another thing to keep in mind is that you can change infusion modes after operation. This requires just pressing the channel select key and then going ahead to press the options key on the Alaris PC Unit. Then afterwards, you will see a menu on the screen, and the second option should be infusion modes. This can be seen in the right-hand photo in front of you on the screen currently. There's also a pink arrow pointing towards it, so this is what it should look like should you choose infusion mode. We're going to do PCA dose, and we're going to do 1 milligram, and then we're going to lock out interval for I wanted to come on here quick and notify you guys exactly what a lockout interval is. As you can see on the screen currently and the screen we just had previously, I was inputting the lockout interval. A lockout interval is the time allotted between doses, specifically between when the patient self-administers these doses. So for example, in this case, the patient is allowed to have a PCA dose of 1 milligram with a lockout interval of 10 minutes, which means that the patient can self-administer 1 milligram of morphine every 10 minutes. So in total, they can have 6 self-administrations in an hour. They can press the dose request cord 6 times within an hour, have 6 dosages within that 1 hour. And this can be set so that the patient is not overdoing it or is not continuously pressing the dose for 10 minutes. And then we're going to close and lock the door so you never have to worry, like I said, about forgetting anything because the PC will remind you. And then you want to lock. And then we're going to go ahead and prime. So we're going to hit options, patient, page down, and you'll see prime set with syringe. We always prime with the pump. We never prime manually, right? And we're going to go back into the program position, and you're going to prime, and it should automatically go to 2 milliliters. And as you can see, we're getting a start on that. And then make sure that you prime up to 3 milliliters because that's what we do, prime with 3. And make sure you don't go over. And if you do go over, just kind of like I just did to 3.1, make sure you just have it listed on your proof of use sheet, which comes with the medication. So we're going to go ahead and exit now that we've primed, and we're going to go ahead and hit start. And we have to lock it. So I wanted to talk about the alert message that I had just gotten. You can see from a series of photos that I have on the screen currently what the alert looked like. So the first one was close and lock door. So what had happened is when I was filming this clip, I had not closed and locked the door for this specific clip, and that is why I got the alarm to close and lock the door. So I went ahead and did that, and after I had closed and locked the door for the syringe, I got another alarm for restart. And this is because I had stopped the process of infusion by leaving the door open and unlocked. So once I had closed it, it was telling me to restart. And you'll see that key in the bottom right-hand corner of the PCU screen will say restart. And once you press start again, the infusion should start delivery without any issue. Again, I just got those 2 alerts because I had started and stopped and changed things while I was filming the specific clip. Another task that is important to know when operating the PCA module that we did not get to go over in the video itself, so I'm including it in the form of photos. The first step is to press the pause key to pause infusion delivery. The pause key is seen in a photo currently on the screen right now with a sort of burgundy, mauve, pink toned arrow pointing at it. Next, you want to use your nursing key and unlock the door and remove the old syringe. The security lock is at the top of the PCA module. On the screen, you can see it with a purple arrow pointing at it. The next step is to press the silence key on the PC unit. You can also see this in a photo with a blue arrow pointing at this kind of yellow button. And again, the silence key is located on the Alaris PC unit. It will also have an alarm going off, which is why you need to press the silence key, and the alarm will look similar to what you see on the screen currently in the photo of the Alaris PC unit. It's also seen earlier in the video of the syringe installation and how to install the syringe and all that stuff. So if you want to get a reference for what that should look like, it is currently on the screen. The next step is to attach your new syringe and load it in. This can also be seen earlier in the video. I show you how to load in the syringe. And you want to take your nursing key, put it in the security lock, and set the key to the program position, and then close the door. Again, you can see the security lock. It is on the topmost part of the PCA module, and I have a purple arrow that is pointing exactly to where the program heading is on the security lock itself. Then you want to press the channel select key on the PCA module. Again, there's a photo of this on the screen with a green arrow pointing at channel select. And then the next step is to press the confirm key on the PC unit. Again, you can see a photo of this on the screen with a red arrow pointing to it. Now, the next 3 steps I don't necessarily have any photos for, but they will appear on the PC unit. Luckily, this Alaris PC unit is a rather intuitive device that can really guide you through the process. The next step is to press the restore key if the new syringe contains the same drug and concentration. Next, the PC unit should ask you to verify the drug is concentration in the current settings, and then you are good to lock the door and review settings and then press start. And that is all you have to do to change syringes. Another task that would be nice to keep as reference in future use of the PCA module is how to review or change PCA pause limits. Earlier in the video, we cover pause limits, and we go over the fact that in this training, we are using standard pause limits, but in the case that you would like to review or change them, all you have to do is press the channel select key first. Remember, we always press the channel select key so the PC unit knows what module we want to talk about or talk to. The channel select key, if you need reference for where it is located, can be seen on the screen on the PCA module. It has a green arrow pointing at it. The next step is to press the options key. This is located on the Alaris PCU controller or the PC unit. So if you look on screen, I have a photo of that, and I have a light blue arrow pointing at the options key, which is a blue button on the left-hand side of the Alaris PC unit. You should be able to see that it says options on it as well. And then afterwards, you will see a page on the Alaris PC unit screen that says PCA pause limits, as well as some other item options listed. And you should select PCA pause limits. There's a key on the left-hand side to press, and you can see this on the screen currently, actually. And there is a yellow arrow pointing towards where PCA pause limits is located. Afterwards, you can review or change the pause limits to the hospital policy, and afterwards, you just press confirm and hit start to start the infusion delivery again. Alright, so let's go ahead and go through some alarms. If your device alarmed, no worries, the PCA module will stop delivering the infusion during the alarm state. Let's go over the alarms and how to troubleshoot them. You always need to keep the PCA module to the direct right of the PCU. If you do not, it will alarm. In the case that the device has stopped infusion, there is a chance that an error might have been detected on the infusing channel. To stop the alert, press the confirm key. To rectify the situation, replace the channel with an operational instrument, and service by a qualified personnel will be required for this. In the situation of an occlusion, you will see an occlusion message appear on the channel message display, just kind of like the way that PCA morphine is showing up here. This means that there's an error with the syringe driver head, and the syringe driver head, there might have been excessive pressure that was applied to this syringe driver head that might have caused this alarm. So to silence alarm and continue normal operation, you'll press the confirm key, which typically shows up here. In the situation that a syringe not recognized message appears on the channel message display, this means that the installed syringe isn't a known type or size. To troubleshoot this, you can either select and confirm correct syringe type and size and then press confirm, again, this button, or use a compatible syringe that will be recognized. Make sure that it is loaded. When a device alarms, always check the syringe. There are many reasons that the device could have alarmed, like the plunger grippers opened and closed during infusion delivery, or the syringe barrel clamp, which is that piece that covers the syringe down here, opened and closed during infusion delivery, or a syringe plunger was not captured while in idle mode, and the module alarm because there could have been potential siphoning condition due to the security door not being closed and the syringe plunger not being captured. Lock the plunger grippers and press the channel select key and reselect the syringe. You also make sure to lock the syringe barrel clamp and press the restart key. Verify that the roller is in its closed position and lock the plunger grippers over the syringe plunger. If the device alarms and the drive system appears to have been disengaged, it's a simple fix. Just open and close the plunge grippers and verify that the syringe is properly installed. All right, so if the device alarms and the PCA appears to have paused, assess the patient, as the PCA may have alarmed due to decline in the patient's respiratory status. Press confirm again once the patient's status has been addressed, and press restart when ready to begin the operation of the module again. There is a way to check what triggered the alarm. So first you press the channel select key. We're going to go ahead and actually do that. We're going to press options. We're going to go ahead and hit drug event history. And you can go ahead and view from there on. You can also page down if there was another page. As you can see, there isn't. And then you can hit exit and then start. And then press start again. But right now, we will just hold on to that. The device will alarm in the situation that the patient has reached the maximum hourly limit for drug dosage delivery. You have to press the silence key to silence the module, and the PCA will remain silent unless the patient attempts to request an additional dosage that will then resound. Let's go ahead and hit that just to get rid of that tone. If the device alarms and there's a message on display stating near end, it means the device is near end of infusion. There's no need to worry about this. The PCA will remain functioning and continue the infusion until the end of infusion. So make sure to just press the silence key to silence the safety alarm tone. This leads us to the next alarm. After the device has ended delivering the infusion, the device will alarm and a message will appear on the message display stating syringe empty. Press the silence key to silence the safety alarm tone, but the PCA module will only stay silent for 2 minutes and begin to resound. All right, so there are high priority audible and visual alarms for the end-tidal CO2 alarms. They're for specific situations like high or low end-tidal carbon dioxide, high or low respiratory rate, no breath from 10 to 60 seconds, a high fraction of inspired carbon dioxide, disconnect occluded disposable, low battery, and system failure. So these alarms can be verified audibly in the form of a high priority alarm and visually as a message as well. And the troubleshooting methods vary on the form of the alarm. So in the case of a high or low end-tidal carbon dioxide, assess the patient to see if it shows for a real and true measurement for a low or high end-tidal carbon dioxide and follow protocol actions as needed. If the patient doesn't show that they're truly displaying high or low end-tidal carbon dioxide, check the disposable. So the disposable goes right here, and you want to go ahead and check that to see that it is securely and properly attached to the patient and the module, because sometimes when it isn't, it will alarm and show that the patient has high or low end-tidal carbon dioxide. In the case of high or low respiratory rate, assess the patient for their respiratory rate and follow the hospital protocol actions. Again, you need to check the disposable to see if the patient does not appear to have a high or low respiratory rate. So again, if the disposable is loose or not securely attached like it should be right in here and to the patient, you'll get this message for high or low respiratory rate. In the case of no breath from 10 to 60 seconds, assess the patient for no breath and follow hospital protocol actions. If the patient appears to still be breathing and system continues to alarm, check the disposable to verify it is properly and securely attached to the patient or the module itself. Another option is to just use a different disposable. Sometimes the disposables may not be detecting the exhaled breath, so you can just go ahead and get a new one. In the case of high fraction of inspired carbon dioxide, assess the patient to see if they're inspiring exhaled carbon dioxide and then follow hospital protocol actions. Check the disposable again in the case that the disposable is again not securely attached to the patient or the module. And another good thing is to check if there are drapes or covers over the patient's face that's interfering with the device's reading for fraction of inspired carbon dioxide. And also check their O2 mask, because if the patient is wearing it and it's not properly or securely attached or may have stopped functioning properly, it can cause this alarm. In the case of an occluded disposable, try disconnecting the disposable, again reattaching it. If this does not work and the module is still alarming for occluded disposable, retrieve a new disposable and attach it. So again, mainly for the end-tidal carbon dioxide module or capnography, the biggest thing is to check the disposable. If it's not attached to the patient or the module properly, or even if the O2 mask is not, or the nose cannula is not properly attached, it can result in a lot of alarms. So that is the main key. And as well about the alarms for the BD Alaris 8300 and tidal module. Remember that you can return to this video anytime. We have resources listed in the description down below, and we also should have some chapters on the video, so you should be able to see them in the progress bar. If not, again, there should be timestamps in the description, and feel free to come back whenever you need to review anything. All right, happy learning, guys.